All right, well, before you make your reservations and pack your bags, you'll need permission. Here to help divorced families understand that shared custody doesn't take vacation, family law attorney Clark Viviano. Good morning, Lori.
Okay, how am I supposed to be serious after that?
I know, right?
Okay,
That's a little
there
hard.
you go.
And it's kind of dating us to say that we knew every word to that, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about divorced families and what we need to know in terms of shared custody and taking vacations and all of that.
You know, I think the thing that everybody needs to remember is exactly what you said at the start. You share custody. You don't own your child. So you need to have, permission. And like we were talking about, you said you have a lot of lawyers in your family. You know, you need to have a clear understanding. If you've agreed, get it in writing. Get a stipulation. File it with the court. Because what people don't understand is, if you want to enforce it, you're at the airport. And the police show up, the first thing they're going to say to you is, where's your agreement?
Right. And so you don't want just a verbal agreement, because then the other spouse could turn around and say, well, I didn't agree to that, correct?
Or let's just say just didn't understand. Just clearly didn't understand. They thought it was Wednesday, and they wrote the wrong, they in their mind thought the wrong day. The key in my mind is always, before you do something, get it in writing, see a lawyer. It's so cost effective to make sure you've done it right. I just had someone who's in the military, and they gave their grandmother the rights to their child, and I said, you can't do that. You have a parent. You have to get approval by that parent.
So if you are going to leave the child with a sitter or another family member or anything like that, is that something that would generally require the approval of the other parent as well?
If it's going to be for a long period of time, I think the thing that how I always tell my clients is good manners. Would you not show up for the show for a week and not give notice? Wouldn't you make sure everything was done appropriately? Wouldn't you send your human resources a letter telling them the days? I mean, I think the big thing that everybody does is, my favorite thing about clients is this. They're shocked. Look what my wife did or my husband did, and they've done this pattern before. This is not new behavior. If you have someone you can trust, then they're going to be fine with signing an agreement. Come see me, see another lawyer. We can draft a quick little stipulation that's quite economical, and then you have it. And, then you can feel safe. I always tell people, keep copies with you when you travel. Just good manners to me is the key, and have everything in writing.
And I would imagine that it's important to also take the emotion out of it. When you say good manners, I mean, you don't want to be thinking about all of that past history and have that leading into the current situation, because it's really about the best interest of the child, right?
Absolutely. And to me, if you have an agreement and it's in writing, it's like you said, when you were growing up, they always made sure that you said it, and here you are on TV. It's the same thing. You have to be clear and precise.
Right.
Are you picking the child up at 3 in the afternoon, or are you picking the child up at 5? Those become big issues.
Yeah, when you and I were talking, I said I grew up with a family of lawyers and judges, and so we learned to say exactly what we meant and to say it very clearly and concisely, but not a lot of people do that. Most people are a little bit more vague in their language.
Not only that, but let's not forget, you are divorcing this person. You're not best friends.
Right.
So just make sure you get it in writing and see your divorce lawyer, and let's not say how old we are.
Exactly. All right, now if you're taking the child out of the country, talk a little bit about passports and how important that is.
People have got to have a passport. That I'm having a lot of problems with a holder of a passport. I just had a case. I thought this was a brilliant idea. They have an agreement. It has to go in a lockbox. So when you need the passport, you get permission, you go in the lockbox, you take it out, you put it back in. Because, let's face it, you need a passport and you need written permission. The other thing is, go to your website before you travel. Delta may have different rules than American Airlines. But don't do this at the last minute. I love when I have someone who wants to leave on Tuesday. Hello? What am I going to do on a Thursday?
Right.
Go and see if you're planning, when you plan your trip and you're in a divorce situation, also plan to see your family law attorney. Sorry.
Right. And, you were talking about, a situation where you don't own this child, and
Right.
it is a joint custody. And so what is your best advice in keeping the relationship sound?
Good communication, like you said. Be precise in your communication. I think that is the biggest problem. Even if you say to someone, okay, I'm going to reiterate, this is what I think, mean what you say and say what you mean.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We have your information on the screen if anyone wants to get in contact with you, and you can also go to san diego6.com.